Hello everyone, this is Kanaka welcoming you all to Learn Online. As we all know, today will be our fifth session on data interpretation. People who haven't watched our previous four sessions, go back and watch all our sessions. The links for which have already been given in the description below. As we all know, in our previous session, we've already dealt with basics of all the different topics in data interpretation. And also, we have seen previous year questions on tabular chart and line graphs. So in today's session, we'll be dealing with one of the very important topics of data interpretation. Yes, that is bar graph. As I've already told you in my first session, bar graph and pie chart are very important topics of data interpretation. The amount of repetition in your previous year papers are very high for these two, which are those bar graph and pie chart. So today's session will be very important session. As I've already covered basics for all the types of charts, today we'll be trying to solve the problems as quickly as possible. So let's look at our first question on bar graph for the day. What does it say? What is it representing? It is representing heights of 6 mountain peaks. So A, B, C, D, E, and F are 6 different mountains, and the height of its peak are being represented in this bar graph in terms of meters. So it is represented in terms of meters. So let's look at our first question. What are they asking? They're asking us to find the average height of all the peaks. And we all know that average is sum of all observations divided by number of observations. What are the different observations here? The different observations are the heights of mountain peaks. So we need to quickly add all this. You people should not waste time writing down all this. Instead, you should start directly adding all this from the graph. So if I add all this, what do I get? 8 plus 6 gives me 14,000. 14 plus 8 gives me 22,000. Plus 7 gives me 29,000. Plus 8 gives me 37. Plus 6 gives me 43,000. 43,500 plus 800 gives me 44,300. 44,300 plus 500 gives me 44,800. 45,400, 45,600. So sum of all observations will be 45,600. Since there are 6 mountain peaks, the number of observations here are 6. So 45,600 divided by 6 gives me how much? 6 1 times, 6 7 times is 42, remaining 3. 6 times is 36. So 7,600 will be the average of heights of all the mountain peaks. And do we have that in our options? Yes. Option B, 7,600 will be my final answer. So let's look at the next question. What are they asking? Which peak is the second highest? Pretty simple and a direct question here. Which is the highest here? When we look at the bar graph, we can directly tell that 8,800 is the highest, but they're asking for second highest. So second highest will be 8,600. So which mountain has 8,600 as its height? It is mountain C. So do we have that in our options? Yes. Option B, mountain C will be my final answer. So let's move on to the next question. What does it say? Write the ratio of heights of the highest peak and the lowest peak. So from the graph, which is the highest peak here? We know that it is 8,800. So now, which is the lowest peak? Lowest peak will be mountain B, that is 6,000. So we need to find the ratio between these two, that is 8,800 is to 6,000. So 2 zeros gets cancelled and we can divide both of them by 4. So 422 times give me 88 is 2. 415 times gives me 60. So my final answer will be 22 is to 15. So do I have that in our options? Yes. Option A, 22 is to 15 will be my final answer. So let's move on to the next question here. What does it say? When the heights of a given peaks are written in ascending order, what is the average of the middle two peaks? Now we have to arrange them in ascending order, meaning from the smallest to the highest. So which is the smallest peak here? Smallest mountain peak is 6,000. So the next one, which is the next one? Next down is 6,500. And then it is 7,500. then it is 8,200, then 8,600, and the highest one is 8,800. So which is the middle two peaks here? Middle two are 7,500 and 8,200. Now we need to find the average of these two. So if I add both of this, what do I get? 7 plus 8 gives me 15,000. 15,500 plus 200 gives me 700. So 15,700 divided by 2 gives me my final answer. What is it? 2 1 times, 2 7 times, 2 1 times, 2 8 times, and 2 5 times. 7,850 will be my final answer. The questions on my previous bar graph was very simple. They were all direct questions. So let's move on to a slightly complicated questions. What does it say? This bar graph here represents the number of shoes manufactured by a company on different days of the week. So these are different days of the week, that are 7 days. So company manufactures different number of shoes on different days. So based on that, they're asking us the question. What is the first question? What is the total number of shoes manufactured by the company on all 7 days? Once again, it's a very simple and direct questions. What do we need to do? We need to add all the numbers here. What is it? 700, 600 gives me 1,300 plus 700 gives me 2,000. 2,900, 3,800, 4,800, 5,800, 6,000, 6,034, 6,100, 6,142, 182, 190, 230. 210 plus 20 gives me 230. So what will be my final answer? My final answer will be option D, 6,230. So let's move on to the next question here. What are they asking? The number of shoes manufactured on day 5 is how much more than the average number of shoes manufactured per day. Now what do we need to do? For average, we need to add all the sums here. So instead of doing that, what do? I've already got my sum here in my previous question, that is 6,230. So you need to be a little attentive. You need not add once again. You should take the sum which I've already added, that is 6,230 divided by number of days, that is 7 days. This gives me the average. So what will I get? 7 ones, 7 eights. So remaining 6. 7 nines is 63. So 890 will be the average number of shoes manufactured on all 7 days together. Now I need to find out by how much less shoes have been manufactured on 5th day. So 5th day, are they manufacturing less shoes or more shoes? They're manufacturing more shoes. That is 966. Now I'll have to take the difference between these two. So what do I get? 966 minus 890 gives me 76. So on 5th day, they're manufacturing 76 shoes more than the average. So which will be my answer? My answer will be option C. So now let's move on to the next question. What are they asking? The shoes manufactured on day 1 is what percentage of shoes manufactured on day 7? Now what do we take in the numerator and denominator? Whenever we are finding percentages, we take the value which we are comparing on the numerator, that is day 1. We are comparing day 1 to which day we are comparing? We are comparing to day 7. Day 7 is the actual value or the value to which we are comparing other values. So that will be my denominator into 100. So how many shoes were manufactured in day 1? Those 720 shoes divided by how many shoes were manufactured on day 7? Day 7 there were 1,200 shoes manufactured. Now if I cancel all this, what do I get? 1 0, 2 zeros, 12 ones, 12 sixes, 72. So my final answer will be 60%. Do I have that in our options? Yes. Option B, 60% will be my final answer. So let's move on to the next question here. What is the next question? What is the average monthly salaries in rupees in 2015 and 2016? Be a little careful here. What are they asking? They're asking monthly salaries and not yearly savings. So what do I need to do? First, I need to take yearly savings. For yearly savings of 2015 is how much? Income minus expenditure. That is 9 minus 7.5. That is 1.5 lakhs. Now, what is the yearly savings for the year 2016? It is 10 minus 8. That is 2 lakh. What is average? Sum of both the observation. That is 3.5 lakhs or 3 lakh 50,000 divided by number of observation. What is the number of observation here? Generally, the mistake what students do is they'll take the number of observation as 2 because it is for 2015 and 16. But then that is wrong because we are calculating average monthly salaries. So it should be 2 into 1 year as 12 months. So it is 2 into 12. So now if I solve this, what do I get? 12 1 times is 12. 12 2 times is 24. What am I remaining with? I'm remaining with 11. So 12 9 times is 108. So I'll be remaining with 2. So 12 once is 12. So remaining 80. So 12 6 times is 72. So once again, there is another 8. So 6, another 8. So 6 year will be recurring. Now if I divide all these by 2, what do I get? 2 ones, 2 ones, 2, 2 fours. 8 remaining 1, 2 5s 10 remaining 1, 83.333. So do I have that in our options? Yes. Option D, 14,583 will be yes, monthly average savings. So now let's move on to the next question. What does it say? They're asking us to find the percentage of his total savings with reference to his total income. So which is the value that we are comparing here? We're comparing the savings. So what is his savings throughout? He's saving 1 lakh in 2012, 1.5, 2.5, 2, 4.5, 6, 8. Is saving 8 lakhs divided by his total income. What is his total income? 6 plus 7 gives me 13 plus 8, 21 plus 9, 30 plus 10, 40,000. Sorry, it is 40 lakhs into 100. So what do I get? 4 ones, 4 twos. That is nothing but 20%. And do I have that in our options? Yes. Option D, 20% will be my final answer. So now let's move on to the next question. What are they asking? They're asking us to find the ratio between the ratios of savings to expenditure respectively for period 2012, 2013 and 2015 and 2016. For this, what do we need to do? We need to first find the ratio of savings to expenditure for the period 2012, 13 and 15, 16. First, let us find out the ratio for 2012 and 2013. What will be the ratio of savings to expenditure? In 2012 is savings is 1 lakh. In 2013 is savings is 1.5 lakhs. So totally I'll be getting 2.5 lakhs as the savings. So what will be the expenditure? Expenditure for both will be 5 plus 5.5. That is nothing but 10.5. Now if I cancel this out by 5, what do I get? 5 times is 25 divided by 521 times is 105. So what will be my ratio of savings to expenditure for 2012 to 13? It is 5 is to 21. Now similarly, I'll find the ratio for the year 2015-16. So what will be the ratio? 1.5 plus 2, that is 3.5 divided by 7.5 plus 8 gives me 15.5. So now if I cancel this out, what do I get? 5 sevens 35, 531 times is 155. So what will be my ratio between savings to expenditure for 2015 and 16? It will be 7 is to 31. Now I need to find what? I need to find the ratio of these two. So what is the ratio? 5 by 21 is to 7 by 31. Now these are in fraction. How do I convert it into whole numbers? Just I need to cross multiply this. So what will be the final ratio? 5 into 31 is 2, 7 into 21. 530 is 150, so it will be 155 is 2, 720 is 147. So do I have that in our options? Yes, option B, 155 to 147 will be my final answer. I hope you all have understood whatever I'm teaching till now. So let's move on to the next type of question. What does this graph represent here? This represents the number of students who enrolled in two different institutes, which are those Institute A and Institute B for 5 different years. So now let us look at the questions that they have asked. What are they asking? In the given bar graph, what is the ratio of number of students enrolled in Institute A and Institute B in combined strength from 2016 to 2018? Meaning we need to find out the number of students who registered in 2000, registered in Institute A for 2016, 17 and 18. What are those? 500 in 2016, 450 in 2017. That is 950 plus 750 in 2018. So totally how many students enrolled for Institute A? Totally, there were 1,700 students who enrolled for Institute A from 2016 to 2018. Similarly, for Institute B, how many students enrolled for the same period? Is 600 plus 365 gives me 965. 965 plus 650 gives me how much? 1550. 1565 plus 650 gives me 1615. Now look at these two. Look at 1706, 1615. What is the difference between these two? The difference between these two is 85. Now check if the terms, both the terms, if 1700 is divisible by 85, yes. 85 two times is 170. So 1700 will be 20 times of 85. If 1700 is divisible and the difference between 1615 is and 1700 is 85, even 1615 will also be divisible by 85. So 85 19 times give me 1615. So what will be the ratio between these two? The ratio is 20 is to 19. So option B will be my final answer. So now let's move on to the next question. What are they asking? In a given bar graph, the percentage decrease in the number of students in Institute A in 2016 is what percentage of students in 2015? Now we need to compare values of 2016 to 2015 for Institute A. So there are how many students in 2015? There were 800 students for 2015 in Institute A. So they became 500. So what is the percentage decrease? The decrease here is 500. The change in value is 800 minus 500. That is 300. So change in value is 300 divided by, to what are we comparing? We are comparing it to the students in the college 2015 for the year 2015. That is 300 divided by 800 into 100. Now two zeros gets cancelled. What is this? 3 by 8 into 100. What is 1 by 8 into 100? 1 by 8 into 100 is nothing but 12.5%. So what is 12.5% into 3? It is nothing but 37.5%. So how did I write this 12.5% directly? You need to know the relationship between fraction and percentage. If you haven't understood this step, go watch our percentages basic video. So you'll be understanding how to write the relation between fractions and percentages. So now let's move on to the next question. What does it say? In a given bar graph, the number of students enrolled in Institute B in the year 2016 is what percentage of students enrolled in Institute A in the year 2016. Now they're asking us to find the percentage. So which is the term that we are comparing here? We are comparing the number of students who enrolled in the year 2016 for Institute B. So how many students enrolled? 600 students enrolled. What are we comparing this? We are comparing it to the number of students who enrolled in the same year for Institute A. How many students enrolled? 500 students enrolled in 200. So what will be the percentage here? Two zeros gets cancelled, 5 ones, 520 times. So 6 into 20 gives me 120 percentage. So do I have that in our options? Yes. Option A, 120% will be my final answer. Let's look at our next question here. What is it telling? The histogram given below. Now they're talking about histogram. Till now, we saw problems on bar graph. Now, what is this histogram? What is the difference between histogram and a bar graph? Histogram is also a chart which is very similar to a bar graph. But then in histogram, what we do is we distribute the values. For example, look at this. In a particular class, there are students with different heights. So now what are we doing here? We are not comparing two variables. Instead, we are distributing the variables. 150 to 155. The people who are having 150 to 155 height has been arranged in certain order, and 155 to 160 are arranged separately. So now what we are doing? We are distributing, and we are not comparing. In bar graph, what used to be there? We used to have a data for one particular year, and we used to compare that with other years. But in histogram, what we are doing is we are distributing. So that's the only difference that we have between histogram and bar graph. So let's look at our first question here. What are they asking? In the given histogram, what is a median class? So now we need to understand what is a median. And we also need to understand what is a class here. So what do we understand by a class? Look at this. When you look at the graph here, there are different ranges given. That is 150 to 155, 155 to 160. These different ranges are also called as classes, or they can also be called as bins. So don't get confused when you're replacing these names. They can also be called as class, bins, or range. Now, what is a median? When you start arranging your variables, the middle term, arranging it in terms of ascending order or descending order, the middle term will always be called as a median. So which is the least value in this case? The least value that you can get is 150 centimeters. And what is the highest value? Highest value is 180 centimeters. So what is the middle term here? The middle term, how do we get the middle term? First term plus last term divided by 2. So what is your first term? 150 plus 180 divided by 2. So what is 150 plus 180? 330. 330 by 2 gives me 165. So where does 165 lie? Does it lie between 160 to 165 or 165 to 170? Generally, whenever we are representing this, we have to take 165 in the higher case or in this 160 to 165 range. So 165 lies in this range. So which class lies in the median class? It is option D, 160 to 165. So let's move on to the next question. What are they asking? In the given histogram, the number of students whose height is in the class interval 175 to 180. So how many students are there? There are totally 6 students whose height range is between 175 to 180. Is what percent less than the number of students whose height is in the class 160 to 165? So there are how many people in the class whose height is between 160 to 165? There are totally 10 people. So if they're asking what is the difference? Difference is 10 minus 6. That is nothing but 4. They're asking us the percentage. So how do I calculate the percentage? Change in value divided by original value. What is my original value? Original value is 10. So 4 divided by 10 into 100. So if I solve this, what do I get? 0, 0 cancelled. So 40%. So do I have that in our options? Yes. Option C, 40% will be my final answer. So let's move on to the next question. What are they asking? What is the percentage of students whose height is in the class interval of 165 to 170? So there are how many students between 165 to 170? There are totally 14 students. Out of the total of, how many students are there totally in that class? 15 plus 13 gives me 28, plus 10 gives me 38, plus 14, 52, plus 2, 54, plus 10 gives me 64, plus 6 gives me 70. So there are totally 70 students. 14 divided by 70 into 100. What do I get? 0, 0 gets cancelled. 7, 1, 7 twice. So it is totally 20%. And do I have that in our options? Yes. Option B, 20% will be my final answer. So this will be the end of our session today. I hope you all have understood everything that I've taught. If you have any doubts, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. Thank you, people. I appreciate your time and patience. Thank you.